I welcome you all from Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center, Bali. Today we are celebrating Rabindranath Jayanti, and we are fortunate that Dr. Sruti Bandopadhay is with us, share her views about Rabindranath. She is a professor of Manipuri dance in Vishwaharati University and working extensively with Rabindranath and Manipuri dance. I welcome you, Didi. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and find out your valuable time for us. Thank you so much. So your topic for today's webinar is Tagore's Idiom of Dance, Glocal Endeavour. It will be a 30-minute session, and 5 minutes we will get to ask something to her. So it's up to you, Divya.
Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you, Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center, Bali, for giving me this opportunity to speak on Rabindranath Tagore's dance idiom. I am humbled by the sign-ins of the Tagore lovers and welcome you to this talk. And I look forward to a very fruitful exchange among us. On the top of the hills in Tripura, it was a full moon night on March 27, 1899. It was the day of Holi or color play in the spring season. We inherited the myth of the love duo, the deities Krishna and Radha, who played with colors on a full moon night in the springtime. The beautiful golden moon enthralls the nature with its soft rays. And it was such a setup in Tripura that Rabindranath sat with his friend, the king of Tripura, Radha Kishore, to witness a celebration of spring, the Vasantotsava. The Manipuri people, who were Vaishnavites, rejoiced their own festival of Holi and presented dance numbers enacting the color play of Krishna and Radha. Well, the devotional environment, the graceful expression, the delicate and restricted abhinaya, coupled with songs and percussions of Manipuri dance, swayed Rabindranath with the power of the dance art. His realization of the visual media as the universal language of dance prompted him to gradually include dances in his dramas thereafter. So that's why this particular day is very important. And in 1908, when Sharadotsav was performed in Shantiniketan, dances were woven into the theme. These augmented the technique of acting, as also called for a universal appeal of the presentation. Here, dances were supposedly assimilated, perhaps not academically, but aesthetically, to give the dramatic structure an enhanced appeal. Well, in 1919, Rabindranath toured Sylhet. Here, in a Manipuri village called the Machimpur, he was treated to a Rakhal Ras performance. Fascinated by the dances, he wanted to introduce Manipuri dance in his peace hermitage at Shantiniketan. Birendra Kishore Manikya, the king of Tripura, the then king of Tripura in fact, helped him find the teacher, the Buddhimanta Singh, who joined Shantiniketan, and the first formal dance training was initiated. But this was among the boys. The girls were yet to take it up. In 1923, a peasant family who was expert in Mandira and dhol play and dance came to Shantiniketan with Rabindranath after his tour to Gujarat. They helped compose a dance on the song Dui hate kale re mundira je shodai baje. The two symbols of the eternal time sounds forever. They composed it with the students of Shantiniketan. Well, why did I quote these two incidents? You see, if you observe, these two incidents of dance introduction, one dance from the northeast and the other from the west, extreme west, provide us the insight of Rabindranath's thoughts of dances at that time. Both the societies, Manipuri as well as the Gujarati, have dances integrated in their livelihood, bringing in dances from two extreme corners of India. This only suggests its outlook of assimilating the treasures of the variety that India possesses. Well, henceforth we find classical dances coming to Shantiniketan, like Manipuri, Kathakali, a little in the later stage, Bharatanatyam, of course, in the middle around 1930s. Of course, Kathak also coming in, though we don't find any other dances. A little bit of Mohiniyattam also had come in. Kerala, from Kerala. Different folk dances like Garba, which is a Gujarat dance, Baul, Rai Beshe, Jari, and the Kerala folk dances with Kalyani Kutti Amma had all come. But during that time, dance was a forbidden practice in the middle class society in Bengal. It was associated with the Baiji cult, which had a terribly negative impact on the dance practice and in the minds of the people. During his tour to Jabha, Bali, in 1927, Rabindranath observed their dance practice and wrote that the dances in Bali create the mythological stories as a visual interpretation, while we in India, when we hear about the mythology, it's basically an audible construct. What he is writing this, what we call the dance by or other objects is not the ideal of dance for these countries. So we find that Rabindranath is referring to the Bai dance as only an object. And no way we can understand that this dance had any appreciation from Tagore. He had written 5 letters from Jabha. In fact, Jabha and Bali, which is under the name of Jabha Jatrir Potro, letters from the Jabha traveler. And the dates I have given in the slide, those are the dates that he has written. And in those letters, he had described his likings for the dance and theatre art of the country. He writes, dance is the primary element in the festivals of Bali. Just as the coconut trees there swing in the air, so do the men and women swing in the air of dance. Each society has its own way of expression of self. When the soul of Bengal was wavered, their intrinsic expression found the medium of Kirtana songs. It is still not extinct, but here, that is, he is referring to Bali. Whenever they want to express their feelings, they dance. The men dance, the women dance. And in the subsequent letters, we also find that he has described a dance of 2 little girls in the palace of Gyan Ram. This Gyan Yar is in Bali, right? It is in Bali, the palace. These girls were beautifully dressed. The flower sticks on their crowns would swing with the movement of the head. They started dancing with the accompaniment of the gamelan orchestra, and their beautiful dance was mind-blowing. The rhythm in their body movements was beautiful, graceful, and simple. In other dances, the dancer moves her body, but in their dance, it seemed that the body itself was a self-fountain of dance. From the description, it seems he had watched the classical dance of Bali, that is the Legong. Well, he was also treated to a dance of 9 girls in Surakarta, which is in Java, of course. He writes to Pratima Devi that it was a performance of perfection and beauty. And the dance of the 9 girls, in all probability, comes from the Bidhaya performance. So we may see he must have witnessed the Bidhaya performance over there. Rabindranath also experienced a masked dance. One of the dancers from the previous night enacted a male character wearing a mask, though it was primarily a comedy. The beauty of the movements was central. The expressions and dialogues had a comedy tone. Rabindranath was mesmerized by the fact that even if they were enacting comedy, the decorum of the beauty of the performance was not distorted. They expressed all the emotions in dance movements, and hence, even in expressing monkey, they move in rhythm. The art of mask dance, probably here, is the topeng dance of Java and Bali. In both the places, that is there. Again, he writes that he has witnessed a Java dance drum. And here he has witnessed the fight between Hanuman and Indrajit. And the character of the dance differed, with Hanuman being an animal and Indrajit being a knowledgeable individual. In our Jatra, that is in Bengal, the animistic nature of Hanuman is always highlighted, where he jumps and in that manner develops, the audience laughs at him. But here, the Hanuman is also presented as a human being, and it is so decent that that no longer laughter is aroused. It is such a beautiful dance form that he had witnessed, and in all probability he has witnessed the Ramakien. Well, he also writes to Rabindranath about the beautiful architecture, about the sculpture, where Shiva is taken as the Mahaguru. And he writes about the 4 dancing girls, among which 2 were the Sultan's daughters, and how they danced. And interestingly, this dance, 4 girls dancing in Java or in Bali, represents the Sherimpi. And he must have witnessed this Sherimpi performance. And interestingly, he is saying that the dance is decked with finely audible tunes. We can call their music, the beautiful music of Java and Bali, he has said that we can call it Swara Nritya, or the dance of notes. While they are acting, he has referred to their acting as Rupanatya, or the drama of beauty. Well, this is what he had experienced. Now, when he came back, at that point he was working with a production called Rituranga. He had brought back with him different postures of Java dances, Bali dances, and from various memoirs, people who had worked with him at that time, they are writing that Tagore asked them to graft these beautiful postures, beautiful poses of the Java and the Bali dances, along with the Manipuri and Bharatanatyam, that is the Indian dances. So you see a synthesis of the Java dances, Manipuri dance, Bharatanatyam dance, all these happened, and this happened in his production, Riturango. Another interesting fact is that these dances were also, while presenting, in fact, I should also mention, I feel, that Tagore had brought a costume of this Java dance or Java and Bali dances from when he returned. And with that costume was worn by Amita Sen at that time. Amita Sen, incidentally, is the mother of our Nobel laureate Amartya Sen. So she was wearing it and dancing. She has written in her memoir that actually, we are not in a culture where we can keep bare shoulders, but the Java dancers' beauty is the bare shoulder. So Pratima Devi, Tagore's daughter-in-law, designed a beautiful golden blouse on which she had worn that Java costume and danced. So this is what is the influence of Java and Bali on Tagore's dance thoughts. And of course, the costume, the batik work, batik work, the system of batik work that travels from Java to Shantini. But this art was given a completely different look in Shantiniketan. The indigenous floor art of Bengal, which is called the Alpona, was tried out on clothes with the batik technique. It was so successful that the merge of the design and the technique is one great example of the merge of the art that I am trying to portray in this presentation. Here you can make out the Javanese batik work and the Shantiniketani batik work, and in the Rabindrik dance we wear these batik, the uttorio, which is called, which is a kind of sash that is there. We will go to the next slide. See how batik is there in the dance. The one on the left in the blue sari, she is dancing in his production Mayar Khala, and the other one is from Shapmochun. These flying sashes, this is absolutely an influence of Java and Bali on Rabindra Nritya. Sheba Maiti, Jamuna Sen have been very renowned Rabindra Nritya dancers from Shantiniketan. But these extensions on their arms, as you can see, this is the influence of the Indonesia, because particularly the costumes of Indonesia, these extensions that, and even, the chest cover that Sheba Maiti is wearing, the crown that she is wearing. So how Rabindra Nritya or the Tagore's thought, where, outsourced, I should say, outsourced these, but making it very much, and finally, blending it to the culture, the idea of Indian dances, blending it totally. Even this headwear, Umare is wearing, the shield cover, these extensions. This also has a shoulder extension, you can see. And this is the influence of the sets of Java and Bali. This is the ideal picture that's always being taken, always being put forward as the influence of, and Rabindranath himself is sitting on the stage watching, and this is a scene from his famous dance drama Chitrangada. And if you just look behind the beautiful sets, it's always said that it is very much influenced from Java and Bali. Well, I was naturally speaking of Java and Bali a little more, explaining it more, because it has a very, very definite impact. But side by side, we have also seen Tagore talking about and bringing in foreign dances in it, like the Japanese movements. In 1916, Rabindranath had visited, and from there he has written that the dance witnessed is the Japan's dance And it seemed that the dance was like the music of the body. The music is again like the alapa, or a slow progress of notes of the veena in our country. The mir, or the style of play, is at every point. There is no gap in the variety of movements, or there are no marks of joining thereon. So one thing we understand, that Manipuri, the Japanese dance, these all have continuous movements, which he had really, really planned. And it is also said that once kabuki and no steps were also used in the character of Madan in Chitrangada. We had a Japanese student, Maki, who had really, played the role of Prohuri in Shama in 1939. And she at times helped in dance compositions by contributing Japanese steps too. Then, of course, there were the Bruners who worked on the Hungarian folk dances. There was the modern dance, which Srimati Devi had learned from Mary Wigman, that is from Germany. And there were several productions, particularly a production in 1931, which is the Geetotsava. That particular production had all kinds of dances blended in that production. Whether it is the Hungarian folk dance, the modern dance of Germany, Japanese movements, and even Rabindranath visited America in 1930 when he had recited with the famous modern dancer of America, that is Ruth Sentence. So all this had special, a very tremendous impact in Tagore's school of dance, in fact, Tagore's thoughts. But, if we delve deep into the sphere of his dance, which is now popularly called Rabindranath, then we can find two aspects in terms of its identity. One is definitely the content of the form, and of course the form, the content on which the dance is being done, and the form. Fitting in perfect with the contemporary global issues, visualized through the universal language of the movement art. Several themes surfaced with addressing the most current problems of those days, which were even, I think, they are equally relevant today. Like, the communal rights that has been shown in Noti Puja, the equality of rights in Shishutikto, value of the inner beauty and humanity in Shakmochon, liberation of soul from the bondage of mechanism in Tashir Desh, dedicated to the great nation, our nation leader Subhash Chandra Bose. We have seen he has spoken about the equality of women in Chitrangada. Then the community and the caste concern, his famous Chandalika, not to forget hailing the cause of the environment in his nature songs and the festivals that he had initiated in Shantiniketan. So a varied problem, varied theme had been taken by him as the theme. And while putting these themes for dance presentation, Tagore borrowed freely from the prevailing dance forms in India, both traditional and folk. Manipuri dance, with its expression of bhakti and subdued eloquence, attracted the poet for its subtlety, humility, and dedication to the Almighty through an aesthetic endeavor. He introduced this dance in Vishwabharati, Shantiniketan. The history of dance practice in Vishwabharati was initiated, and thereafter we find dances like Garba, Mandira, Baul, Raibeshe, Kathakali, Mohiniyattam, Kathak, flowing in as tributaries in the mainstream of dance practice of Shantiniketan. In many of his assimilation movements from other countries were blended in, like Kandi from Sri Lanka, judo from Japan, ballet from Russia, modern dance from Germany, and of course Java, the dances of Java, Bali. The uniting base being initially his songs and later his dance drama. But the primary objective was to give visualization to his lyrics. You can see the costumes, and this is how, these are very recent photographs that I have collected for you. Even the flower ornaments, it's very typical to Shantiniketan and to Rabindranath. So we can conclude saying that the repertoire of movements are collected globally and processed in the Shantiniketan laboratory, along with the various Indian dance movements. The product had the signature of the aesthetics of Rabindranath, and the visual bore a distinct stamp of Indianness, thus making the dance art of Tagore a global endeavor. Thank you so much for hearing, and I would love to take some questions.
Thank you, madam.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, I have a question. Can you please describe some elaborately Ramakin dance drama and Hanuman this portion? I can't hear, ma'am.
You couldn't hear it. The point is that he has described in one of his letters a dance drama that he had witnessed in Java, where this dance drama is based on, I mean, in fact, he has seen the scene where Hanuman and Indrajit were having a dialogue and fighting also. Now, Hanuman and Indrajit, these are characters from Ramayana. So, in Java, Ramayana is called the Ramkian, and they, so he must have witnessed these scenes from Ramakian. That's what I have to say. So he had not mentioned in his letter that he has seen Ramakian.
Yes. From Ramayana, it's coming from, Ramakian is coming from Ramayana, ma'am.
Ramayana, yes. Java and Bali, they have a lot of influences of Indian culture. And of course, their dance drama, they have their own regional dance drama too. But their dance dramas based on Ramayana is very famous, and that is called the Ramakian.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam.
I have a question, madam. Didi, hello.
Yes, I can hear. Please say, Paramita.
Yes, Paramita. How are you, ma'am?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay, I just want to asking you, what is the needed of using Ghumur in Rabindranath? Because many students wear Ghumur from when they perform Rabindranath. And as a students of Shantiniketan, I didn't accept it. We need the Ghumur for when we perform Rabindranath.
Yes, let me say, we don't see much use of Ghumur in Shantiniketan, but I have also seen Professor Jiten Singh, K. Jyotindra Singh, who had just recently passed away, but was a connoisseur of Rabindranath. So I have seen him dance with, in fact, I have a video also. You can get in touch with me. I will show you that video where he was dancing with Ghumur. But he had worn that Ghumur with the song Murdi Dao Tekun Shuribaji Kunnabu Chanchalu Chande Murdi. You know, what I felt is that, but I have seen his other dances also where he was not wearing any Ghumur. So maybe it was his thought that to bring out the rhythm properly, the Ghumur was needed for that particular dance. So maybe we can say that, in fact, we can say, not maybe, we can say that according, when we follow the rhythm of a dance, and if that rhythm really wants or demands the Ghumur, you can wear, but it should not, I mean, seeing Jitendra wear it, I have concluded this, that this must be the case. But it is true, in Shantiniketan, we don't see the use of Ghumur much.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you then one thing that I have been saying after my research with Rabindranath, that after I shifted to Bharati in Anyone having any questions? No? Then I can. After I shifted, that is in 2000. I was working actually in Kolkata, in Rabindranath University. And after I shifted to Vishwabharati in 2014, I have seen the core, the birthplace of Tagore's dance. And what I have understood is, when you talk about Rabindranath and when you talk about dancing on Tagore songs, that is dancing on Tagore songs, that in any way, in any kind of dance, and when you want to dance Rabindranath at that point, also follow the aesthetics of Rabindranath, the samples, the examples that he has put forward, that what he thought about dance and how he had conceived the costume, all that when taken together, not painted on a Rabindranath can be a Rabindranath, but wearing some absolutely a different kind of costume and also going for movements which had not been subtly taken by Tagore at many places, that will go into the creative category or the oriented category or a modern category of dance. But that is a dance on Tagore songs that will not get into the arena of Rabindranath. So this difference has to be very distinctly now followed by the dancers. Then if you can differentiate between the Rabindranath and the dances on Rabindranath, then I think it is easier to understand that how Tagore had thought. And for that, you need total orientation of Tagore's aesthetics, of the history of Rabindranath, how he developed it and what he had thought. And you have to read a lot of his writings on dance, his writings on chanda, that is rhythm, and then only you will be able to conceive and feel his idea of dance.
Question? We have only 1 minute.
Yes.
But before it over, I should thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for all those valuable informations. Like we read all those books, but sometimes we get confused with what he thought and how he created all those things, the idiom of the dance. So still, when we are practicing and we are trying to create some dance items or some try to choreograph on his songs, so we think a lot, we get confused also. I hope that what you share with us, that will help all of us to think more about Rabindranath and will help us to go in a proper way.
Yes, I do expect young dancers like you all now come forward. You can always keep on doing your classical form, but for the person who has given us this stage, this respect for dance in the Bengali society, and of course to India also, you all should now come forward and think about and develop this into a very, very professional dance form too, which will maybe in another 100 years, with all your contributions, can reach a unique level and to be a unique dance style of India, which is conceived and not just learned on the body.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. I
Thank you. Thank you.
Hope in future we will have this kind of webinar, and we will have more opportunity with Dr. Sruti Bandopadhay. Listen to her, and thank you so much, Didi. It's all of our.
It was a pleasure.
Fortunate we have you.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a beautiful experience to me, this Pochisha Poishak.
Thank you.
Enjoy the day. Thank you.
Yeah. Started with a good, the day started with a good initiation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Pompey Di, and thank you, Didi.
Thank you, Pompey, also. Thank you, Pompey.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.